Hi, I'm Jamie Kaler. Most of you know me as Claire's dad / cameraman. But, did you know that I have a life of my own? Yeah, I'm an actor, a comic, a voiceover artist, but more importantly, I'm the host of the Parents Lounge podcast. Oh, my back hurts. It's a video podcast that premieres live every Tuesday night on Facebook, YouTube, and apparently Twitch. Yeah, don't ask me about that one. I don't even know. Anyway, it's a great place for parents to commiserate with each other about the toughest job that any of us have ever had. Oh, and it's funny, like brutally honest funny. Then it lives on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, as a delicious podcast that will make you feel better about your life choices. But, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Okay, we're all in this together, people. Parents Lounge podcast. Check it out before my little girl grows up and moves out because I love her so much. Oh, good job. We could have homes on separate coasts, go dive in Greece with squids. Could have been so bleeping rich, but instead we had kids. They won't smile for a photo, they won't eat the food we choose. That's why we're heading to the Parents Lounge to drown ourselves in booze. Every day we're more exhausted, we haven't slept in years. They hit me in the nuts so bad, my eyes filled up with tears. And yes, we'd like to fake our death and go off of the grids, but the truth is we are softies and we truly love our kids. So join us every Tuesday night to laugh at all our pain. Evening in the Parents Lounge is the cure to staying sane.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Parents Lounge. I'm Jason Gowin. With me, as always, are Kate Mulligan and Clare Kramer. Clare, welcome back.
Oh my gosh, thank you guys so much. I missed you. I missed everybody.
We missed you, Claire.
You did, Kate?
Yes.
Birthday. I see happy birthday in the balloon in the background.
You know, it's so funny. Those balloons, when we went away for this weekend, those balloons were in a whole other room and walked their way into this bedroom. When I got home, I was like, what the hell? But yes, thank you. Thank you. The big 4-0, babies. The big 4-0.
Oh my gosh, it was your birthday. You were supposed to have a party. It's been like postponed a few times.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna hit. I mean, I put the down payment down on the place. Have you ever been to the Castaway in Burbank?
It's great. They have the Saturns there every year, which I presented that.
Oh, you just did. You were
right.
just...
Yeah, you did, right?
Oh
yeah, this year they were not there actually. They were somewhere else in Burbank, but normally they're at the Castaway, and it's such a beautiful venue.
We poured a lot of money into it already, but anyway, it was basically like I needed to know by February 1st if I was gonna. I had to cancel or keep by February 1st.
It kind of works out. Okay, what was your official birthday day?
March 3rd.
March 3rd. I'm September 3rd. We're threes. Like
you're September 3rd. I'm September 9th.
You're not. Oh my God.
3. Yes.
And Kaler's 9/14.
Bye, Kaler. No one gives a shit.
Yeah, whatever.
Sorry.
Oh, but I probably should say Jamie is at something for the kids, and he's
here. He's here. Hold on. He's here. Hold on.
Oh, okay. Oh,
I mean, my wife's the worst.
Touche.
Hold on, I'm gonna actually just change your name to Jamie Kaler.
Yeah,
I want you
great.
to just continue to be him for.
Okay, first of all, you floated the idea as a Mother's Day birthday party for you, and I am into it. I'm here to say that is like a great idea. I will be there. I think it's fabulous.
I just think it's so silly to keep so I thought if I could do like a mother for all of the mothers in my life,
like a huge party, like I love it,
like a big stupid.
I would pay to come to your Mother's Day party. Because I may not get to go out otherwise. You know what I mean?
It's funny because there was people that were like, oh no, we do things with my kids. But I'm like, no, this is the point. Mother's Day, you should be without your kids.
Right. Or like, you know, the other alternative is like set up like a babysitting like service place somewhere.
Hire your kids.
Big, like hire like a nanny in a room, like you know.
Come have a booze.
Watch a movie. Parents can party.
It's like I have to go through all the contract stuff with them. Anyway, this is probably boring, but the bottom line is I'm hoping it happens because I put money into it already. So we'll see.
I'm here to help you. Bounce ideas off of me. Let me know.
Thank you. But by the way, back to me being Jamie Kaler. Are you guys? Is it just me, guys? Is it just me, or dude, your kids? Is everybody Are you making 7 dinners for your kids? Is it just me? Yeah, Jamie, it's just you.
It's funny because the Parents Lounge tweeted something that could be taken the wrong way today.
What was it?
They tweeted that, you know, Claire's dad, Jamie. And I was like, no, it's not my dad, Jamie.
Honestly, until today, I thought he was. That's how I thought that.
It's like kind of surprising that he's not. But yeah, no, he's not my dad. So I just
also, what is this front? He's at a thing for school when you go to the same school. What is he at?
I don't know.
Wait, that's right.
But no, I don't know. Maybe there's something I'm missing.
I mean, is it maybe it's grade specific though? Or am I grasping at straws?
Well, I know they did send out. Okay, now this is like ringing a bell, like a little bit of a bell. They did send out this thing, like if you want to be educated in the whatever way of handling children and the appropriate, if you're going to be on campus, it was like a tutorial thing, and I was like, no, I'm good.
Yeah,
is this something they probably mandatorily made him go to?
That's probably like if you volunteer or something. That's weird.
Or there have been an incident with you in the past, and when you need proper retraining for how to handle children.
Yes, but I opt out of like pretty much all those things. I'm like delete. Does it have to do? Is it a wine tasting? Yes, I'll go to that. But then other than that, I'm good.
Claire, I have to know, where have you tell the people, where has Clare Kramer been?
Well,
she said
it's been you may notice my shell necklace.
Gorge.
It's been a rough couple weeks. I've been in the Bahamas, in St. Thomas and St. Martin.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Doing a little R&R, relaxing a little bit. But now I'm back, and since I've been back, my eyes have been bleeding because I did not check. I was like, basically the ship, I was on a cruise, and the ship had horrible Wi-Fi, which you had to pay like $120 a day for Wi-Fi on your computer and your phone. You couldn't just get you could get one, but it's like, why? You know, because I need both.
The cruise ships are trying to make up 2 years of income.
Oh, right. It's like crazy. So I bought the Wi-Fi package. I paid like $1,200 in Wi-Fi, and I literally had no service anywhere. It was so bad when I would be trying to like upload something or send an email or add an attachment. Literally the lag time would be long enough for me to get out my book. I'm reading this great John Grisham book here. And I would read like a chapter or almost a full chapter. And then I would check back at my computer if it had uploaded, you know? So it was very, very slow, but that was kind of nice because it was a little, moratorium from life. So
were your kids with you?
No.
How did you manage this?
Yeah, give us your secrets. How do you leave 4 kids?
You're 4, so like if you manage
to get 4 people,
I should be able to handle 3.
Yeah.
Well, fortunately, the kid's father took care of them.
That's fantastic.
And did a great job. And I missed a lot. I was disappointed. I missed certain things, but it was a work trip, so it was a good, reason to go. And it was, I tried to make the most of the fact that I was gone and try to relax as much as possible.
Oh, that's fantastic. By the way, if it sounded like Jason and I were judging you at all, we certainly weren't. Every parent needs a trip by themselves for sure.
Listen,
I'm just how do you?
I was envious. I was very envious.
For me, it doesn't really happen unless it's a work thing.
Yeah.
But when it does happen and it's a work thing, even then I've taken like my daughter, my oldest one who's 14, I've taken her a couple times. I've taken the younger ones. So I try to, if I can, if it's realistic, to take them. This was not a realistic trip to take anyone on because I was, it was international travel.
Yeah.
I had very short notice before I left, and it just wasn't like the cards weren't in to be like, hey, you come. However, I will be next year repeating the event, and I will be taking all the kids. So
that's awesome.
Like, but that's a year to plan it. You know what I mean? Not like a day. So.
Yes. I've never been on a cruise before, and I have to say, like, I didn't know if they were coming back, but they're back. Cruises are back.
They're back, and they're great. Cruises are like really for families. I think. Oh, there's Jobo.
There he is.
I know you now.
Jobo.
For families, I honestly think they're a phenomenal trip because, for example, even though there were no kids on this particular cruise at all, they had a kids club that was open from, and we cruised on Royal Caribbean, which is a great cruise line.
Was it like a fan cruise? It was like the Buffy boat or something?
It was a different genre, but it was a pop culture thing. Yes.
Oh, that's so fun.
So, the kids club where you can drop your kid off, is open 1 to 4. The teen area, which you have to be like 12 to like 16 to go to. On top of that, for everyone, there's like putt-putt golf, a wave rider, like simulated surfing. There's a VR station. There's a movie theater. There's unlimited food. So they can basically go up anywhere and be like, give me this. And they're like, here,
Oh my God.
And it's just, it was just like, it seems like it would be amazing. I've heard great things. I've never cruised on Disney for family.
I've heard that's
wonderful things.
That's what I've heard, that like the Disney cruise, it also was like, it's priced a different way than every other cruise in the world is, but it's because like you get that Disney quality. It's like, apparently there's a place where you go and the restaurant you go, it's like called Animators something or other. And
that's one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. You start off and it's like black and white. The walls are black and white. And as every course that you get brought, it gets like cult, like
it's like a mood ring.
It's like a mood ring. It's like apparently incredible. I've always wanted to do it, but I also get so massively seasick that I don't know if I'd be a candidate for a cruise.
I honestly, so this cruise, I was lucky because they gave, I had a really nice room. I had like, the balcony suites, whatever. And, of course it's just me. So I like spread out, like starfished all over everything.
Yes.
But it was nice because my room was in the center of the ship, which is kind of where you want your room to be because you're not like rocking or whatever.
Right.
So I actually said to my friend who was on the cruise, I was like, I don't understand how people get seasick. Like the boat isn't moving enough. And especially the Caribbean, not like crossing the Atlantic. If you're on the QE2 or whatever, crossing the Atlantic, that's a whole nother story. Definitely you're going to encounter some waves. The Caribbean's like blue waters, easy sailing,
Oh, it sounds fantastic.
It does sound fantastic. Also, did you have to fly into Florida to get on that cruise?
Orlando. Yeah, I flew into Orlando and then took a car to Port Canaveral, which is where we left.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Oh my God. I feel like
Disney's also leave from there too, I believe.
Well, and they also leave from the West Coast. So you can cruise because, by the way, having such a great experience, and the last cruise I took was the cruise right before I found out I was pregnant with Gowin basically the day we got back from the cruise. So that's 15 years ago. I remember being on the cruise being like, where's my cycle? Why isn't it happening? And then coming back and finding out I was pregnant. So it's been a while. And once I did this again, I was like, this is phenomenal. Like, this is such a great family thing. So of course, like I got on all the cruise websites and like made profiles and signed up. And I found like lots of little interesting things. Like, for example, Holland America, if you have kids under 18 and you book 2 people, the kids are only $75 in addition. So it's not like you book a room. You have to book per person on the cruise because they're counting for the food and the, what I mean? And all that kind of stuff. So I was like, wow. So I signed up for all these things on the flight home, actually. And and yesterday and today, I've gotten like 35 phone calls from all the cruise lines that I signed up for. The notification, they're like, "I'm your cruise booking specialist," And I'm like, I'm gonna have to call you back because now I'm back in my real life and like really not sure when I'm gonna go on another cruise.
Right.
Yeah. What's everybody's dream trip? Let's say with kids, and then let's also say without kids. Because I'll tell you right now, I know for a fact all I want to do with these boys, and it's really for the older, but I just want to go to Tokyo. We have to get to Tokyo. My son is so into like Pokemon, and like he loves he loves anything that comes out of Japan. He's like into. We like do this. I don't. He just it. We like. He's like, can we look at a YouTube video of the Pokemon Center again, which is basically like the Disney store but for Pokemon. I mean, video like arcades, karaoke. So we're like, okay, we can't go when they're young, but like that's our dream come true. Is Tokyo with the kids.
What about you?
Jace has very specifically asked. He wants to do the Disney World, Universal Studios in Florida trip, which we will once all of the features are back. We will do, but to me, it's pointless to go until everything is back, because he's going to only get that first experience the one time. So.
Do they have the Marvel campus there too?
No, only in that. So because Universal,
Jason, you got to come to Cali, baby.
That's coming
Okay.
soon, soonish. So, because we got work to do with this. So yeah. So as sooner or later, very soon I will be out there. So Universal Studios in Orlando had a Marvel park before Disney acquired their characters.
Oh, okay.
And so there is a rule in place there that any character that's in that Marvel park cannot appear in the Disney parks down there. So there's no Avengers campus there.
Wow.
It's only on the West Coast. But that's why you're only going to see like Guardians of the Galaxy at Disney World.
Wow. Okay. Cool. I mean, that's your coast though, man, right now. But you got to get out here for that Marvel. You have to come to the Marvel. I mean, I'm talking about like
I have merchandise from there. I mean, I had people bring me things. Like I've had stuff sent to me from there because they had those battle robots. They're basically like remote control battle robots that are Spider-Man, and Jace really wanted them, so I had a friend who lived close by pick them up and send them to us.
Oh, that was nice.
So,
Claire, what's your dream trip? Oh, sorry.
But that's my trip with the family. Without family, I want to go in and paranormal investigate the pyramids.
No shit.
I've been to the pyramids.
Have you?
I had the most amazing. This is really funny. I had the most amazing Indian food ever at the base of the pyramids. There's this amazing Indian restaurant. I don't know why. It's there. It's phenomenal. It was the most, probably like my top 5 meals in my life. But really? The pyramids are really interesting, but there's not a lot, like the Valley of the Kings or for example Sharm el-Sheikh, those were more interactive, interesting, like Tutankhamun's sarcophagus was very actually interesting and also funny because it was closed, and then we were like, yeah, how about if we give you some hashish, can it be open? And they're like, yes, and actually the more cash you give us, the closer you can go to the actual sarcophagus. So it's all a racket over there in Egypt, but it was a phenomenal experience. The pyramids, I would love to go with you, Jason, because I don't really have that like angle in my mind. Like I'm just like, wow, how did this all happen? I would love to have that like paranormal aspect.
Our buddy Dave Schrader is actually doing a trip.
He is?
He is. He's doing one that you can like buy tickets and go with him there. And unfortunately, the timing of it is not going to work for me, but it is on my bucket list to do because, I actually like in middle school and high school because I'm a super nerd, taught myself hieroglyphics and how to read them. And so like I I did all that stuff, and I have kind of been prepping for that my whole life. And so it's kind of this very exciting thing. Well,
you could have taught yourself to code, and you taught yourself hieroglyph. You taught yourself the one thing.
Not back then.
That's our kids, not us.
Yeah, in 1993, Kate, we had just gotten cable in our area.
Well, I'm just saying, you taught yourself the deadest language.
I mean,
yes, that's true.
You said yes.
But if an Egyptian mummy curse ever goes rampant, I'm going to be very useful.
Wait, can you still read? Like, if I'm gonna,
I don't think I could still do it. I know like which direction to read them, based on the way they're facing, but that I'm not fluent anymore. But I used to be able to like read them.
Don't worry about me.
That like spell out your name that were really popular in the 80s and 90s. Can you like make me one of those?
With your 3D printer, if you will.
Can you 3D print me that? And Kate also. Kate, I'm going to throw you in on this. Like, I think it's a great gift. Yes, this is live. Someone just asked that.
Sean Patrick, yep.
Oh, Sean. Just get on this show already, will you, Sean? Jamie's not here. Wait, Claire, where is your... Oh, by the way, my dream alone trip without the kids is Australia.
Ooh.
I don't even know that I bring Dickie, if we're being honest.
Have you been to Australia?
Never.
Oh my God. Okay, I've been there several times. It is amazing.
I have to go.
I don't know what my dream trip is, but I will tell you about a really cool trip that involves Australia, and I'll think about my dream trip. Actually, you know what? I take that back. I think it would be really fun for me and the kids to stay in a yurt. You know those like round, tent type things, and like just be like literally. There's no showers. There's no like whatever. Like but also we have a chef who's going to bring us food. So I don't want to worry about that, you know? So that would kind of be like nature, swimming, kayaking, canoeing, hiking, fishing, whatever other nature activities the kids wanted to do, like hanging out, reading in a hammock, like that, like to me sounds like phenomenal. Cause on, you know, not so much on the cruise because I've been to the Caribbean before, but sometimes when you go to a new place, you feel like, oh my gosh, I have to get out and sightsee.
You have to get out. Yeah. Yes.
We have to go, like, you know, for some reason, even though I've been to Paris quite a few times, each time I go, I'm like, I have to go to the Arc de Triomphe, and I have to go to the catacombs, and I've got to go to the Louvre again because I haven't seen everything, and I've got to go to the Musée d'Orsay. But I don't want to deal with any of that. My dream vacation is going to like a yurt for like a month, having a chef, and that's it. No makeup, no showers, no nothing. That sounds like,
you know what might actually be, honestly, now that I think about it, I think if I could get invited on a Real Housewives trip, that'd be ideal. Like, go to some crazy place in the biggest house and just live it up with a chef. Hey, Jason, can you read this?
Oh.
So I can tell you phonetically it's not okay because the symbols are facing different directions.
Oh. That means death.
I looked at it. I looked at the alphabet. I think I wrote ass.
So
this is A and these are S.
You started out the A in the correct way, but the hooks would have had to been facing with the hook on the other side for it to be, because so one of the things I do remember is that when you read them, you read that whatever way the symbol is facing is the way you read them. So like in English we read left to right. So, but with them, if like the hawk was looking to the right, you'd go to the right. But if he was looking to the left, you'd read the entire thing.
All right. In my defense, the hieroglyphic, it did show the S in that direction, but another one shows it in the other direction. So, okay, yeah, two.
Well, they're both
I just looked at it back
right. It just depends on where the first symbol was placed.
Oh, I should have. Okay,
just
so
make
I
her
should
necklace that, Jason.
Wait, what?
I'm impressed with that bird I drew.
I think that's really good. That's very accurate.
Thanks, guys.
Wait, Jason. So diverging away from vacations for just a second, you were going through potty training.
Not with the Dark Lord. Not with 3-year-old twins, Jason.
Oh, we are.
Jason, don't. Jason, there's not enough booze.
We're in it. We started Sunday.
Okay.
What's
your technique?
So we are doing the as soon as they get up, sitting with them till they go method, which I don't like. We were told that with twins, that's the best way. And I'm going to scratch it because it's number one, I'm going to spend 8 hours sitting in front of a toilet, which is, 7 hours longer than I usually do. And I don't want to do that. It's a complete waste of my time. But we tried it out Sunday. And so we sat there for an hour. Logan got up, and as soon as he stood up after that hour, pissed all over my son's guitar. And then the Dark Lord just sat there for like another 15 minutes.
I think you're wrong about who the Dark Lord is. You just said that the other one pissed on his
But he had actually peed and made no sound, and it was in there, and we don't even know when he peed. But when he stood up, the little cup in the seat stuck to his buns, and it dumped all over my lap.
Why? But okay. So, continue. Tell me about like rest of Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then I'll give you my opinion.
Is this where you're supposed to like take their, because I'll be honest, the way I potty train both my boys is I sent them to preschool where they're the only ones wearing diapers, and they came back to me that day potty trained. I'm not fucking kidding.
Humiliated. Yeah.
Both of them. Both of them came back. They were like, I wear underwear
and
now.
We hadn't done daycare here because Melissa was so high risk because of COVID.
Of course.
We just kind of didn't do that.
But I legitimately don't know how to potty train. Like, is this the like don't wear underwear situation?
Well, we're gonna move to that next. I think that's gonna be where we're gonna try next. Claire, do you have tips? Because I would very much appreciate them.
May I? All my kids were potty trained by 2. All of them. All 4 of them. Nighttime trained by 3. So here's what you do. And it doesn't work for everyone, but I feel like it works for a lot of people. So caveat, if it didn't work for you, no judgment. Whatever works for you, works for you. Take a 3-day weekend where you're just like, I'm with them. Don't do the no underwear because then there's no consequence.
Okay.
Normal underwear that they get wet. Okay. So
I've heard of this. Okay, I've heard of this. Yes.
Also, what I did, which worked out really well, was get a basket and put all the like whatever their favorite characters are, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Flash, the Superman, put all the underwear out like in a big display, like you're at a buffet basically, for adults, or an open box. Pick whatever you want. Pick it, but don't get it wet, So then the first day they basically pee on themselves like all day. And you're like, okay, well, whatever. The second day, they start to realize, if I pee, I'm getting everything wet, and then that's not very comfortable. And then by the third day, they're pretty much potty trained.
Wow.
So so you rely on their discomfort, and then they sort of wean themselves off it.
What if your kid's a sociopath?
Well, and then you look at them, they
asking
pee,
for you, Jason.
You're like, oh, see, that's where you need to go to the restroom. That's what people do. People use the restroom when they have that pee. So when you feel yourself need to pee, and the first day you have to talk a lot about it. The second day you're like, okay, remember what we talked about yesterday. Tell me when you're feeling that, whatever. If you tell me quick enough, we'll make sure you're in the bathroom, but they basically do it themselves is kind of, you know what I mean? Like you put responsibility on them and not on you to like do all these crazy methods of like, whatever. And I did use gummy bears too. Like every time there was a pee in the potty, gummy bears.
Yeah. We did Skittles and stickers for the Dark Lord when he did it. And I will say that Logan did not like that his brother got stuff and he did not. So I do think that once there's more of an observation that the competition between the two of them is going to play in our favor.
Yes, this is when it's great to have twins.
I do think that's going to help. Our sponsors at Voom.today are in the chat today, so just want to make sure that everybody at
everybody got that. Voom today. Okay, thanks guys.
And so we're gonna give it a little more we've got to give it a little more time. Things were a little crazy this weekend, but
the other thing is, the big thing is, like, you don't leave your house when you do it, right? Like, you don't
that's
go
what
anywhere.
I heard. Yeah, you don't leave your house.
When are you ever gonna? Dude, I did like a 15-minute bit about you.
Oh, I missed it. Can you do it again?
I can't. Yeah, I just basically said, "You guys, Jamie Kaler is here," and then I just went, "My wife is awful." You look very handsome, by the way.
Nice, Jamie.
Look at you.
I was at our children's school, Claire.
What were you doing? Because I had a guess of what you might be doing. Was it the?
Hey, Jobo! What do you mean, Jobo? Who is this guy?
You look good, dude.
Oh, thanks. I clean up.
You clean up. All
Listen,
right.
I don't know if you know this, Mulligan. I've been on television.
No, you haven't.
I mean,
Getting rid of the camcorder.
I used to be on TV. Did you know that?
Oh, Kaler.
What did I miss?
We talked about cruises. We're talking about Jason's
potty training right now.
Potty training. Jason's kid.
Can I interject really quickly? I'm so old that I had a Jason Alexander, my George Costanza wallet, and when I sat down, it was hurting my back, so I have to take my wallet out of my pants now to sit down properly. Hurt my back. I literally hurt my back. Hurt my back.
I feel bad for guys that you don't get purses. Like,
yeah.
I really feel,
We can get purses.
You could. By the way, Jamie, real quick, I also have to put my arthritis cream for my creaking knees. So, wow, 1st and 3rd grader, you bragger.
Yeah,
So why were you there?
the school, the accreditation board sends a few people to go and talk to a handful of parents, and I was invited. Oh. Which scared me. I was like, really? You want me to open my mouth? And then, it was like a TV set. I knew to do only clean material. So I was going to say, I can picture you getting up there. I can picture you getting up there and being like, okay, first of all, what's with the snacks? Can we knock off the snacks in the rooms? I didn't say that. Why are the teachers? What's with the chips? Nothing. And then did you say, okay, guys, real quick, great school, love it. The pickup line needs a little tweaking. Also, did you guys know I was on TV? Can I tell you? So it wasn't a ton of people there. It was like, I don't know, 20 people or something. And when the guy asked the first question, the other parents started to speak. And I was like, oh my God, they were some of the most eloquent people I've ever heard speak. Oh, I was like, oh. And then eventually I opened my mouth a few times to crack a couple jokey jokes and lighten the mood. But people spoke very eloquently, but they also had older kids. Like some people had kids. Like I literally have a 1st grader and a 3rd grader. And so they, when they're asking questions about, what do you think this school should do different or to be other like other schools? I have no idea. This is my first journey down this path. Yeah. So feels pretty good so far.
And my kids have been out of school for 18 months. So really, right.
We talked about that, but also I think our school, we were lucky, but I don't want to go into too much.
We were super lucky.
By the way, Jamie, some of my best work has happened at the parent teacher, like the back to school nights. I remember at my son's preschool, the teachers were like, oh, we love them all. And I was like, yeah, real quick, who would you say you love the most though? And everybody lost their shit. I was like, I was like, yeah, real quick, just out of curiosity, who would you say though that you love the most of all of that? And like, people were just like,
choose if you were forced to make a decision. Kate, I also see a Lululemon bag on your bed.
Yes, honey. This is all stuff I'm giving away. This is
Mulligan, by the way, I forgot to tell you, happy 32nd.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're 8 years late.
That's the story of my life, buddy.
Oh boy. The big 4-0, baby. Can I tell you what I did do this week?
Yeah.
I went to Costco yesterday after we had this awesome weekend. We went up north, got a cabin, like rented my friend's cabin, which is like the most gorgeous, like a 3-story, like log actual log cabin. But and then I went to Costco yesterday and I got to tell you, bought myself, because I'm just too chubby for anything else, my underwear are tied on. I mean, like, that's how much weight I've gained. I bought myself some serious up to the titty grandma panties. It's the greatest thing I've ever owned, you guys. I mean, these things are up there. It is just, and it's just, treat yourself, guys. Treat yourself.
It does feel, I know what you mean. I don't have the panties that way, but I know there's the comfort of having something over your stomach and like all the way up.
Hold it in.
The yoga pants, I'm like, all of a sudden I'm considering wearing them places I would never wear them. Like, oh, well, they're totally fine to wear to an audition as long as I wear a nice blouse. Like, no.
People are wearing them everywhere. I remember, like, in the movies, like Errol Flynn in the 1940s, his pants went up to, like, like in the 40s, those pants, you're like, dude, what's happening with the belt? What's going on there?
His name was Neil Mulligan, and he was my grandpa, and he had them titty pants.
One time I was on the road, and I miscalculated the amount of underwear to bring for, like, a weekend gig because it was Arizona. It got too hot, and so my 2 pair a day turned into like 3-4 pair a day. And so I needed to go, and I bought underwear on the road, and I wasn't sure of my size. So I grabbed a pack of, cause every, it's like the front of it's like the design is like, is it cutting up? Is it a low cut? Is it a boxer brief? Is it just a string with a cup, it's different cuts. And so I wasn't sure. So I went to go try it on. And I started walking towards the dressing room in a department store to try on underwear. And apparently this woman had been watching me the whole time as I was like, what underwear? And then I was like, just before I got to the changing room, she goes, whoa, where are you going? And I go, I'm trying underwear on. And she goes, the two women, even Jason. And I was like, what do you mean? She goes, you can't try underwear on, you lunatic. And I go, well, how will I know if it's the right size? She goes, you buy it, you take it home, and if it doesn't fit. So of course,
that cost, yeah.
So but I don't know, because sometimes it's like it goes 32 to 34, 34 to 36. So if you're a 34, are you a 34 to 36 or a 32 to 30? The whole thing's confusing. And
you don't throwing out such low numbers that you're like, are you a 28 or a?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm not. I'm a 34.
Nice numbers, Jamie.
I know I'm a 34. It's so weird that my waist is also the same length as my inseam. It's an odd. It seems odd to me that I'm a 34.
It doesn't make any sense. I'm so glad you said that, because when I have to buy Dickie things, I'm like, but your waist is so much. You're such a tall drink. You can't possibly have the same.
34.
But he's 34.
So she makes me just buy them. So I was like, whatever. I felt so embarrassed. I just bought a 3-pack. And then I got up to the room and I had to put them on and go down and do the show. And of course, it was like a banana hammock. It had it was just like a string in the back. And so the whole night I'm doing the set and I'm being pretty active. And every time I'm like, in the middle of a physical joke, like it was like
your whale tail came out.
Yeah, it was like you were fishing for tuna, but the holes in the net were too long, and all the fish just go right through. It was like, and so I was playing that Mexican Cup game where you try to flip it up to catch the ball into the cup the whole night, and I'm like finagling it, trying to re-grasp, and I'm sitting there going, "Hey, no man left behind." We're in country. We're all here. Let's go together. Because otherwise things starts to, it was like I was holding an ice cream cone and it was just melting over my hand and I couldn't lick it fast enough.
That's enough about licking your balls.
Wait to hear my next story I got for tonight.
By the way, my friend, I didn't know if he was watching tonight or not, but these overalls, whenever I'm on a show and wear these overalls, it drives him crazy. So I'm just taking the straps down because apparently he really needs things to be in order. And I thought this
was a Blossom cosplay.
Unbelievable. Did you miss us, Jamie?
I did. Honestly, it feels like I wasn't lost at all. Did you even miss me? Did you even know I wasn't gone?
I said that the Parent Lounge had a tweet that was a little bit confusing because it said like Jamie's daughter Claire, and I was like, I had to respond, oh, it's not me, it's his actual daughter. But what's going on in your life of Claire and Hannah? Let's hear.
What's happening? I don't know. They're in the other room. Oh, did you play the video? Did you see the video of them roller skating at the top?
Yes.
It was so cute. Oh my God.
And then I filmed me of like, because people always go like, oh my God, that was shot amazing. And I go, this is what it feels like, as I was like trying to shoot them. But Claire turned 7. Yeah, I mean, every day they're actually, I gotta tell you, they've been on a good plane lately. Actually, Hannah had said, God, I gave her grief maybe a few weeks ago about like, come on, be on the same team. Let's do this. And then something kind of switched. And lately she's been like, I'm going to be good, Hannah. Like she flipped the switch. She goes, I'm going to be good, Hannah.
Also, you show your age when you say things. I really gave her grief. We had a real red letter day. Oh boy, I gave her the what's for. I mean,
am I Biden all of a sudden?
Yeah, you said, I really gave her grief the other day.
I'm gonna tell you this story, and it may upset everyone. I'm not sure, but here's how life is nowadays, where everything goes from the worst thing that's ever happened to you to the greatest moment in your life in a fraction of a second. You know that, where you look at something, you're like, oh my God, I'm not gonna make it, and then 2 seconds later, you're like, everything's gonna be okay. So I was in the shower. Can I tell this story, Jason, or is it too?
No, you're good.
Okay. So the shower.
You're in the shower with Jason
every week. I
just turned the shower on, and the water splashed down my front of my body, and I was like, oh, I felt, how the first feeling in a shower, you're like, oh my God, the hot water feels so good. And I look down.
No.
I look down, and right in the shaft. On the shaft.
Oh, I literally thought this was going to be sewage coming out of the shower. This is about your dick.
Oh, God. Oh, I have another crazy story about that. My apartment in Santa Monica.
Dicks, we good.
$5,000 because raw sewage came up and flooded my apartment while I was in it.
I'll talk about that story also later, but I'm curious about what you saw when you looked down.
I looked down.
Let's talk about your shaft, Kaler.
Yeah, let's go.
Shaft. Not Samuel L. Jackson or Richard Roundtree. Not that shaft.
Mm-hmm.
The Kaler shaft. Shaft. Right in the middle, halfway. I'm not telling length. It could be short. It doesn't matter. It's in the middle.
So 1 centimeter up.
See? Why do you hurt me, Mulligan? Why? I'm Irish. It's all good. Hey, I got 2 kids, so it works. That's all you need to know. So it, there's been times before it didn't work. Let me just tell you something. As a woman, I don't give a shit about the dick. What's your mouth do? Okay, that's all I gotta say. Go ahead, Jamie.
All right.
Wow. Too soon.
Really?
Actually, that's not a good time for that comment, because I think every woman listening agrees.
Of course.
I'm apologizing to the elderly.
I
am an equal opportunity employer. Listen,
Yes.
I'm in for games. I like games. Yeah. I'm not selfish. It's all human contact. It's about emotion and sharing.
Sorry, Sean Murphy. Okay.
I understand my 14-year-old. Before let me get back to the shaft. So I looked down at the shaft.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, there has been years before. There's been times it hasn't worked. Like, I don't know about, and this might be too much, but with guys, sometimes if you have a serious girlfriend for a long time and you don't wear something to cover it because there's other types of birth. Listen, I know.
Yeah.
We get it. We got it.
Yeah.
So, you're barebacking it for a long time with a certain individual because you're in a monogamous relationship. And then all of a sudden you break up and you get back into the dating world. And all of a sudden you got to resheath. You got to put the saber back into the scabbard.
You got to get that chokehold on again.
So once you put the chokehold on, he's like raring to go. And then it's like a dog. You put the leash on it. And he's like, I don't want to play.
Suffocated.
Yeah. He doesn't like it. And so it's a problem. It can be a real problem.
Yeah.
But this wasn't that. So I'm down. I look at the shaft.
Mm-hmm.
Shaft.
Wow. He said the
Now it's just a shaft.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. Don't think about the size of the shaft. Bareback shaft. I said bareback shaft all day. But condom is the taboo word. Yeah. All right. So I was using a Jimmy. Is it a Jimmy or a rubber? It's a rubber.
It's a
boy. You said a Jimmy. Lord
I looked
mercy.
down at the shaft. I've only been in the shower for 2 seconds. Middle of the shaft, I see a black spot.
Okay.
A round, like misshapen black spot out of nowhere.
Okay. Did you scratch to see if it was something on it?
Well, you're way ahead of me. But if for one brief, you know how your whole life flashes in literally 1 second where you're like, I see shaft, black, and I immediately am like, I'm thinking leprosy, it's necrotic, it's not going to make it.
Like, dear God, please, I will never do X, Y, and Z again. Please let this not be the case.
And even I went like all of a sudden it's like 1 second slows down like Inception, where 1 second is actually like 12 hours in your brain, where you're like, and so you're doing the whole math in your head of like, where's that? I haven't done anything. What's happening here? That can't be a friction burn. I'm not like that.
There's no friction.
There's not. And so I'm terrified for like 1 or 2 seconds, and all of a sudden another splash of water rinses away, and it all washes off. It was the black lint in my belly button from my T-shirt. I had a new T-shirt on, and a piece of lint had come out of my belly button and attached itself right to the middle of my shaft. And for like, I'm gonna say 2 full seconds, I thought my life was over, and then it all washed away.
Is now going to be called like the Jamie, like, you know.
No, I already got it. The nickname is now Lint. It's called Lint Dick. I had Lint Dick. Come on, man.
Lint Dick.
Well done.
I can't believe you
really well done.
Lint Dick. Come on.
Honestly, now I don't think this story happened. I just think you're trying out a new stand-up bit with us.
No. It did happen, but if you took the word Lint Dick and then reverse technologied it, that's exactly how the story would come out.
Yes, that's exactly right.
But it did happen.
He was very concerned when he told the story earlier today, so I'm pretty sure that it did happen.
I had that like.
I get it. I mean,
I can only imagine what it's like to be a woman, because the plumbing down there, it's insanity.
Well, we can't
My
see
told
it.
me she went to her OBGYN the other day. She's like,
we just hope that we can see down to the place.
Yeah.
And we don't get a belly big enough that we can't see down to the place.
Well, that's what I took from this whole thing, because I gained like 10 pounds during the pandemic, 10 to 15 pounds.
Only 10?
Yeah.
You did great, dude.
It's in my gut.
That's really good.
It's in my gut. And it showed me that my belly button is a little deeper. It's holding more lint.
It's
Jobo, you know what I'm talking about with the belly button lint. Come on, buddy. Climb on board with that condom.
Okay, so I will segue out of the Jamie Privates section of this podcast into the belly button section of the podcast. I do clean my kids' belly buttons with Q-tips.
You do?
Yeah. Because I'm like, every Sunday I have what I call like spa day. Not really. I mean, I say it, but the kids are like, they don't care. And basically everyone gets showered, hair washed, hair brushed, ears cleaned out, nails clipped, belly button cleaned.
It's not X-rated. It's real. I didn't swear, did I? She said it's X-rated. I'm confused, Claire. So you, that's a thing for you, huh? With the family? Belly button?
Every Sunday, hair, obviously shower, hair, whatever the hair treatment is, different for all my kids, nails, ears, belly button.
I don't know if I wash my belly button.
That Q-tip and get in that belly button.
Huh.
You actually need a Q-tip to get in there? You can't just finger it?
Okay.
Q-tip.
No, we're tiptoeing.
Thanks, Mulligan. Thank you, Mulligan, for not. I mean, but come on, belly button. It doesn't.
Also, I think Sarah I think Sarah is enjoying the show. I think Sideways cry laugh face is a good thing. It's a nice X-ray.
Listen, it's. I mean,
see,
it's like when people freak out when they see a woman breastfeeding and they go, "Oh my God, that's dirty," and you're like, "How is that dirty?" I still like, listen, I grew up Irish Catholic, so I had serious body issues about, and I had red fur.
Yeah.
It's not great to walk around the locker room with a towel over your shoulder showing off your
Oh my
red.
God, I think red fur is so much better than anything. I like that became a thing. Like, it's so cute. What are we talking about here?
And plus, it's pasty white skin with.
Okay, that's disgusting.
I could have been Mr. Olympia, and I would be on stage, and people would go like, "Put your shirt back on. You're hurting us." Like, it's terrible. It's terrible. Yeah. And so I had body issues when I was younger, even though I was in really good shape. And I was like, oh, no, I can't do that. I was like, and then as I got older, I think that's what happens. That's why the old guys are the ones who are like, they don't care anymore. They just have their robe open. They go, oh, whatever. I
remember that about being a young woman in a locker room too, like getting ready for swim classes or whatever. And the women that would be doing the lap swim would just be, and I would be like, oh, okay. Because like, you know, like the people with the best bodies are always the ones like hiding it the most because you're like young and whatever. But these other women, I'm like, oh yeah, like these are women that like shat their kids out at some point. Like, yeah, just it's your body's a miracle, man. Just flaunt it. Who can like absolutely. By the way, we do great. Sarah said it's an X-rated show. We in that sort of chain of thinking, we do have a picture. Jamie, you want to put the picture up of your spotted dick? Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, spotted dick is one of my favorite English foods, and actually, that's where the joke goes too. It's a spotted dick. Spotted dick is a what is spotted dick?
It's pudding and a sausage.
That's an interesting combo.
I spent a lot of time in the UK.
You know, isn't it called blood pudding for like Irish sausage, Irish breakfast? You get the blood pudding. No?
Yeah, I love Irish breakfast.
It makes me laugh. Like we think about those old foods, where it's like, I mean, people would like the blood was nutrients it would get, but it like they used to take. Didn't they take the fat and put it on bread or something or other? That was like that's such an Irish thing.
Listen, that sounds fantastic.
They starved to death. I mean, that was a great famine. So they were eating like peat moss. And they ate whatever they could get.
Oh, what's better than the smell of peat, Jamie?
Nothing.
Like the smell of, you guys know peat, like in like an Irish, like in a like authentic Irish pub, like middle of the winter. Just they burn this stuff. It's like this clay. It's like the stuff that they burn it for heat, and it's the best.
Yeah, and it's the whiskey smell too. You know.
Yeah. Oh God, it's so.
Did you guys ever have as a kid? I grew up on bacon and peanut butter sandwiches. Am I
not
different generation? Different generation, I think. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I grew up on them. Like we had them all the time. Like it wasn't like a weird thing. Like Elvis had he had banana and peanut butter.
Yeah,
we had banana and peanut butter.
Banana peanut butter, yes.
I don't eat banana. I don't like banana. I've never had a banana. I don't like the smell of banana.
Got issues.
Kids, I would not even allow a banana to be opened around me because I was like, it's disgusting. But
back up.
Back
up, Claire. Why is a banana disgusting?
I don't know. It's the smell, really. It's like a very distinct smell. You know what I
mean? How do you feel about runts, the banana runts, the candy? Oh, you probably don't know.
Nothing banana, nothing. If there's like, my kids will try to fool me. They'll be like, have a sip of this delicious shake I got from Jamba Juice. There's no banana in it. And I take a sip. I'm like, there's banana in there. There is like a piece of banana in there. So that is like my thing. No banana. But every day of my life, ate a cheese sandwich, Jamie.
The cheese sandwich, but no bananas for Claire.
No.
Wait, so what is in the cheese sandwich besides cheese? Is there any is there a condiment?
No.
It's just cheese.
Oh wow. So Sean Murphy's got a funny banana thing too. He's only a banana, nothing with banana in it though.
Because my kids don't have like such a food aversion to any food, like any one food, like I did with bananas. I also like never, ever, ever drank milk. I've had one sip of milk in my life that I can remember. And it was when I was in college and I woke up and someone was like, here, have a sip of this, what I thought was water. And I took a sip and I was like, that's milk. But like, what aversions do your kids have? What do they not eat or drink?
Hold on. You think, wait, back up. You think this is going untouched? Mulligan, I saw the look in your eye. Have at it.
Okay, was it a roommate? Had you just slept with the person? Was you drunk? Did they know you didn't like the
Don't forget,
meal?
she went to college at 17 in New York, so
Right.
could happen.
So were you guys sitting in a circle just passing the jug around? Like, how did that go?
I actually don't think I was in college yet.
Oh,
High school milk party, underage, got it. Unpasteurized.
I definitely was in college.
Could you just real quick? Could you get Gavin over here real quick? Hey, Gavin, your mom slept around when she was a teenager. You have my permission.
No, because when I was in college, and but no, the person was like, "Here, have it." Like, clearly this was back in the day of alcohol.
It was back in the day of waking up and having people just hand you random drinks. You know those days.
And taking them willingly.
I just woke up and somebody was standing there and they said, "Here, drink this," and I drank it. I went, "Milk? What the?"
Felt like a great deal.
I mean, Claire, we're from Ohio, babe. So we have limited internet over there. You have
got to write a book. Claire has got to do an audiobook. She has to. These stories
Maybe I need help. Jason, Jamie, and Kate help me with it because I've never. I don't know what to do. I do have a lot of funny stories.
Yes, you do.
You do. That's the thing. You do.
I had an old girlfriend who couldn't eat. She couldn't not only eat yogurt, like she couldn't be around yogurt. Yeah. There was a yogurt thing, and I was like, well, obviously, something happened, right? Like nobody goes, I hate bananas. If you come at me with a banana, I will shoot you. Like there's something happened with a banana somewhere.
But the girl with the yogurt, the question is, how did she manage you? Fine.
You know, I love my yogurt.
I'm just saying, like, if it was a texture issue, it would be.
It was a texture.
Mulligan.
I'm trying to get to the bottom of this.
Do you have any food things that you like? When I grew up, my mother, mayonnaise. My mother, I mean, she couldn't hold a jar of mayonnaise.
Okay.
And I was like, what happened to that lady with mayonnaise or something?
She had a hook for a hand. It's a different story, but yeah.
It was different. It was a great hook, though.
It was a great hook.
Yeah,
she just couldn't hold the jar of mayonnaise.
Yeah, it moved.
Was it like the pincher? Was it like the two-pronged pincher hook?
Two-pronged pincher hook. Yeah, one of those. Good. Was a good hook.
Yeah, we called her Betsy Clawler instead of Kaler. But
you guys have maybe the banana things from her mother, because when I was a kid, I thought I hated mayonnaise. I was like freaked out. Like my mother, she would make tuna fish with no mayonnaise in it, and she's like, "No, there's no mayo. We don't put mayonnaise."
You eat dry tuna?
And I hated tuna fish, and then I found out years later, I liked mayonnaise. I don't
actually like make it tasty.
Yeah, my mother's she's a white person. She loves mayonnaise.
My mom didn't have a banana problem or a milk problem. I mean, literally, like those two things I have. Well, and I'm allergic to shellfish, so I've literally never had any shellfish in my life.
That's pretty common. That's pretty common.
When I tell people these things about my diet, they're like, "You're totally abnormal. You're like a weirdo who hasn't had like shrimp, milk, or a banana."
I mean, could it have something to do with the way you pronounce it? I mean, you're pronouncing it milk. Have you ever tried milk?
That's an Ohio thing.
MELK. Thank you. That's how I say it too.
Milk.
Well, I guess Midwest.
Midwest, baby. What's up?
I don't know.
I can't be in the same room with coleslaw. I can't. The very idea of coleslaw.
How do you do pulled pork?
And a barbecue.
No coleslaw.
I put coleslaw on everything.
I gotta side with Jason on this. I will tell you though, here's the deal, Jason. Here's the problem is we've only had crappy coleslaw because there is fantastic coleslaw. But you're from grammar school where it was like, wow, this is like, am I in prison? That's cool. That's the coleslaw from grammar school. But then you get out to like a really great barbecue place that makes really fantastic coleslaw, and you go, coleslaw. It's not bad.
With a lot of pepper in it.
Or if you've never had shellfish, how do you know you're allergic to it?
Gonna ask that myself.
Well, I actually have had it. Last time I had something that was like shellfishy was in San Diego when I was filming Bring It On, and within 5 minutes of eating whatever it was, I think it was like a clam or an oyster or whatever, not knowingly, I was laying on the restaurant floor and they were calling an ambulance.
Let me ask you, did you just wake up one morning and someone said, here, eat this, and they handed you a clam? Because that seems how you get most of your nutrition.
I'm going to try it. That time, because I was, 24 and very, rebellious at that point.
But again, you're saying you said I was eating something shellfishy. I don't know what it was. Like, you don't, like, I've never eaten an oyster and been like, what was that? Like, I know oysters.
Like Kirsten Dunst.
I ate it on purpose. I ate it on purpose that time. Okay. But growing up, my grandmother on my father's side had a severe allergy to shellfish. So I grew up knowing that. And I apparently was told I had that same allergy. And then I didn't believe it. And then when I was filming Bring It On and I was 24 and I was like, I'm the queen of the world and, whatever. And I ate this thing, like 5 minutes later, I was like on my way to the hospital. So I have not tried.
No.
Claire, we've never really talked about it. I mean, 24 years old, you're in a giant movie. I mean, it must have been pretty fun.
Oh, I mean, Jamie, that's another.
And you're staying in a hotel with a bunch of other people
people bring you drinks in the morning.
So that movie was literally one of the first times I came from New York, theater, NYU, doing off-Broadway, doing, like little bit part movie there, and came out to California, did a pilot, did another pilot. They were like, whatever, ended up auditioning for Bring It On, had 8 auditions because I auditioned originally for Kirsten Dunst's part. And I had 5 auditions there, and they were 4 auditions there for Kirsten's part. And they were literally like, okay, she's got the part unless we're going to offer it to this one girl who's filming Virgin Suicides. She did Interview with a Vampire. If she takes it, we're going to give it to her, but otherwise it's going to go to me, right? So I was like, oh, that's phenomenal. So then whatever time passes, a week, I don't know, I can't remember, like a few days, a week, whatever. And they're like, no, it didn't work out. And so my agent was like, can she please audition for something else? Can she try for another part?
I love your agent.
So I had to go back in and do another 4 auditions for that, the role I ended up getting.
Right. They put you through hoops, don't they? They put you through hoops.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. We shot in San Diego for 6 months. Well, 5 months we shot on film. This was still in the days of film.
Check the gate.
Check the gate. And we had a month and a half of training beforehand. So we were down there for like that extra time. It was like the best time of my entire life. It was so fun.
Yeah. How many of the guys did you end up going out with? Is that out of line? I'm sorry. Is that too much? I thought we were being open. I just told you about my shaft. I'm so confused.
I mean,
it was about his lint dick. Come on. He has a lint dick.
I'm going to make a shirt that says lint dick across it. Come on, that's no.
It's really good.
No, the front needs to say like what? And the back needs to say lint dick.
I think also I'm excited for your band, the Lint Dick.
I do think that really happened but I do think that could be a bit on an album. I think that Lint Dick could be a bit on an album. There's something about that.
100%.
I was trying to equate it to how it happens in our lives where you see something and you immediately map out like the next 5 years of your life of like, all right, so that's going to get amputated. I'm going to be in a home. I'm going to be in a wheelchair. Like you immediately see the future and then everything just washes away like rain and you're like, oh no, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Meanwhile, Jason has actually had the family jewels smashed into a toilet seat, stitched up, looking like Frankenweenie these days. And it's just like...
It's better now. There's no visual scarring.
Listen, Jason, I'll be the judge of that.
That's going to be a bit, too.
Did you get a vasectomy?
No.
Well, I did. That's a whole other nightmare story. But
sorry, I don't know why I said no. I don't know why I answered. No, he didn't. Don't worry.
I have not.
I'm in charge of all dicks from now on.
Apparently my primary care physician at this point.
I'm still very fertile. And he doesn't, well,
So I got the snip done because we knew that it was such a dangerous thing for Melissa to get pregnant again.
Yes.
Because of her heart issues. And the other issue was, I didn't want her to go through another surgery. And she she was gonna fall on the sword, and she's like, I'll just get my tubes tied. I was like, no. I will. Yeah. I'm gonna do this. You've been through enough. And it went just horribly wrong in every way.
This just nothing goes right for you, Jason.
No.
And meanwhile, you're not like, boy, I wonder like something's gonna fall off. You're just like, yeah, it was a Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, I had other health issues going on at the time, and because of those health issues, my immune system decided to deal with those issues and not deal with the infection that happened at the site of the vasectomy. And I should have known when we went through the surgery, because the doctor kept saying repeatedly, there's only a 1% chance there's a problem. There's a 1% chance of problem. And
you're that 1%, baby.
I was always the 1%. And I knew something wasn't right when I woke up, and I was like, why do I look like a Smurf from the waist down?
Oh no.
And I was missing genitalia. Like there was just a wee nubbin and nothing. I was like a giant blue watermelon. And I said, Melissa, can you come look at this? Because something doesn't seem right.
She's like, sure. No, thank you. Nope, can't look at that.
Just like when I fell off the like she came in and she went, oh, that's not okay. That's not okay at all. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to the ER right now. And
my wife wouldn't even have looked. She would have been like, no, you're on your own. That would have been we don't.
Jamie, did you and Jason? Well, Jason, finish your story, and then I have a question.
Did you two ever sword fight? That's all we were gonna ask.
No,
we've never played Ghostbusters and crossed the streams. Correct.
Okay,
listen,
great. Good
any
job,
point in the storm, though, brother. I'm there with you. It's about getting back in touch. Listen,
we shared a dressing room once.
We did.
There you have it. Wait, your infection. So the infection actually traveled through your bloodstream.
Oh yeah. It caused a real issue, and it was.
Were you septic?
Yes. Yeah.
Jason.
So basically, if I hadn't gone when I did, I would have had really serious issues.
No, you would.
They operated on me immediately.
Died. What do you mean you would have had like
if
the sepsis gets to your heart, you're gone, dude.
Well, they operated on me immediately, Kate. Like right as soon as I came
I'm just trying to say you almost died and you won't acknowledge it.
They cut open.
Meanwhile, Taylor's got a piece of lint on his dick and thinks his life's
Listen, I'm
over.
still scarred from that. Don't even bring it up, Mulligan. I still have PTSD from that. I mean, there were 2 seconds I thought I was going to lose my penis. Jason,
I did. It was just not.
So did they did surgery and cut the whole thing open? They have the melon?
Yeah, they everything had to be drained and it was not good.
Do you think they videoed that? Because I love a pus drainage.
I didn't ask, but I mean I can give them a call.
We're better than this, Mulligan. You don't call it pus drainage. Think of a new term.
Okay.
New term. A funnier, cleaner term.
Okay. Funnier, cleaner term?
Yeah. You know.
I like
I don't know how you can get funnier or cleaner on that.
Yeah.
Oh, what did you say about the pus drainage?
I love a pus drainage. Did they video it? I love like a Dr. Pimple Popper.
Did they videotape the the leaking of the maple syrup from your sapling? Something along the lines where we all get it, but it's not pus drainage. What the?
Listen, all I know is we all laughed really hard when you said maple syrup drainage from the. I mean, we all laughed really hard at that. So he's about to kick me out. He's about to kick me out.
I see where you're going, but at least people didn't like curdle and go like, "Oh, pus drainage."
Oh, Shug Knight's here. Folliculitis. Oh my God, I had hot tub folliculitis once, guys. Let me tell you.
Wait, what?
It's an infection of the follicles based on an unclean hot tub. Oi! And it was my own hot tub.
Where were the follicles?
Oh, I'll send the picture.
No, I don't want to.
I'll send the picture. You guys, fine. Stop asking. I'll send the picture. Fine.
I won't. I'm blocking you. I can't.
Claire, have you ever had any major medical issues like that where like you they just went horribly wrong?
Well, she had 4 kids in 5 years. I feel like that's
no, actually, funny enough, I've never, even with my kids, I had no epidural, I had no medication, I had nothing, no interventions with any of them. So I have not like had any, God bless, knock on something. I mean, you're jinxing me now, but I have not had, my challenges in life are not medical.
You're a baby making machine.
You
ever think about that? I think about that sometimes about like
you were born to have babies.
If we were in the 1800s, would you be alive still? That's what I asked, because it's like if you had an appendicitis, probably not. If you had, an abscessed tooth, probably not. Like if you had, and
I would probably be alive, and I would probably have like 20 kids. I'd be like the Duggars, but in the 1800s.
I would not be alive. Would not
be alive. Like folding laundry, and another one would just drop out of the chute, and you would be like, "Oh, I guess, hey."
You'd be dead like 72 times over. Like every day is like some new thing for me.
You would have had, listen, you would have had pertussis as a child. You wouldn't have made it out of childhood. Let's be honest.
I had croup at age 5. I would have checked out then.
Dead.
Yeah.
Dead.
You guys don't worry. I'm gonna find this hot tub folliculitis. Don't worry
about
it.
I won't do that.
Not.
No,
I won't.
Jason, stop begging. I'm gonna send it. Don't worry.
So Claire, what's happening with the kids? Have you been on the road with the? It's funny. I was talking to somebody about you traveling with all the.
Well, we kind of covered that, Jamie, but I do want to tell you that my oldest.
You have to tell us the Ralph story. You have to tell us the Ralph story.
My oldest got a job. She's working.
You want me to pull the photo?
I really fought hard for this. And Jason, you have the photos, I believe. There she is. And those are my 2 boys right there in the orange and the yellow. She got a job at the snack bar at the Little League where the kids play. And I had to find her. She's only 14.
Oh, that's so sweet.
She is working and she is loving it. There they are. Now she's embarrassed.
Oh, I love that.
And then the next photo, I believe, is the fries that she served them. Yes, they're the 2 little boys.
That's awesome.
So I'm really proud of her. She already had her like dog sitting business, which she makes like a ton of money with, because over spring break we're gonna have, unfortunately for me, we're gonna have like 5 dogs here, but she does this business where she takes care of everyone's pets and they come to the home. And then I worked, like I said, really hard to get her this, and she is doing phenomenal. So I'm very proud of her.
Oh, that's so awesome.
I think it's important. We talked about this I have friends who are opening restaurants and on the other businesses. They can't find anyone to work. No one will work nowadays. And I was like, well, I worked since I was 14. And then when I was 16, I worked at a McDonald's. I had like crazy jobs.
Me too, Jamie. I worked at McDonald's too.
I worked at McDonald's when I was 16 years old. I ate 1 million burgers that year. And since I stopped working the next year at McDonald's, I have never eaten at McDonald's since. Not once.
Really?
Oh, God. I got a text message from Kate Mulligan that just came through.
Uh-oh.
You all got it.
But Claire, I do think it's really important.
Jason.
Work.
No, it's so important. And like with my other kids, I often talk about, like, you guys have seen River on the show with her dancing. You've seen the boys with their soccer. Like, I feel like, I had sort of an epiphany with Gowin. Like, okay, maybe what I'm instilling in her is just to be like a workhorse, like kind of like just, go out in there, be willing to do whatever it takes, and like be that person who's willing to put in the hard work for whatever you want. So
I find that those people are typically the most successful people. The people who are like, yeah, let's do this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of grew up like that. My father worked really long hours, and I remember, God, he worked at a car dealership. When I was 14, he made me work at the car wash at the car dealership in New Hampshire. In the middle of the winter, I was like freezing, like polishing cars and stuff, and I hated it. I hated it so much, but I don't think I missed a day. And I think I made like $3.25 an hour or something insane. But this was back in the 1880s, and it was, cars were new. Cars had just been introduced and no one had seen one before. So it was an interesting time.
They were all the Ford. They were all Ford models.
They were all Ford.
Yeah,
and actually, he was there.
good old
Mr.
Henry.
Ford, Henry was there all the time, and he yelled at me, and he'd throw me a shilling or whatever they did, whatever kind of monetary stuff we had back then.
A hay penny.
He was a hay penny, I believe. I believe it was
Keep the hay penny, kiddo.
Oh.
You want to go get some sarsaparilla? I don't know. I'm mixing all my ages. Wait, Claire, you also
were going to tell.
Claire, you were saying to us on the text, like when we were talking about that your kids are now ordering groceries.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yes. No. So my kids, I believe in teaching life skills. You know what I mean? So I'm like, here's not just how you play Roblox, but here's actually how you go out in the and use an ATM or order from Postmates or order. So my oldest two, actually almost three, have mastered the Ralph's order. However, they have inputted my credit card as they should for the orders. However, now they're taking advantage of that, and I'm getting like deliveries like all the time, which is like today I got 10 packs of 48 corn dogs and like 5 gallons of orange juice. And I'm like, guys, I didn't approve this. You can't just this is not what it is. I want you to be able-bodied citizens, like contributing members of society, but you can't just order like whatever you want whenever you want to the house. So if anyone out there has any teenagers and they're struggling with any kind of this, I'd love to hear from you because this is what I'm dealing with.
There's an old I was gonna say there's an old adage about this. I think it's like give a man a fish, he eats for the day. Teach a man how to order on Postmates, he rips his mother off. I think that's how it goes.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Like that. Very similar.
But
yeah, something like
we
that.
should make that a shirt. So I mean, it's more of a nightgown. It's a long shirt, but
I mean, on the other hand, I'm like, oh my God, thank God. Like you're becoming humans and you're learning. Like if we don't teach them these skills, they're going to go out there when they're 18 and not know how to do anything. So I'm happy they're learning, but I'm also like, God, I need 35 Tombstone pizzas delivered again. And they're like, oh, we have a deep freeze. It's fine. Put them in the deep freeze. Because I have a deep freeze in the garage because obviously so many kids, I need to freeze stuff. Yeah. But I'm like, even the deep freeze can't handle what you're ordering right now. Like, it's crazy.
That's funny. Yeah, we got a big freezer out there too. And then I remember going to Costco when I first got it and I filled it to the rim.
Yeah.
And then about a year later, I threw all that stuff out because we never ate a piece of it. Because every night I'd forget. I was like, and then a year later, I was like, oh, that's right. I'd frozen food out here. And now I'm more selective about, like, I'll go to Costco and I'll go, oh, yeah, that looks 50 tilapia fillets. We'll go through that. Yes. And then you're like, no, I'm really getting better at going.
Costco is like a ripoff, I feel like. I really feel like...
You have to be selective. It has to be selective. There are certain things you cannot get there.
Yeah.
You okay, Kate?
I'm fine. It's fine.
I got a Costco business now. I do Costco business.
In North Hollywood?
Yeah.
Girl, tell me that's not that. You can get any drink. Oh, honey, that is the best.
The drinks are the bomb. You can get like the full packs. And like, if you need 50 bags of Lay's potato chips, it's right there for like $9. It's pretty great. And
Claire, so I mean, don't you have to do snack for like the boys' soccer games?
Not
for, like the whole team.
Soccer.
Oh,
we don't do snacks for club.
Okay. Because I'm on snack duty for T-ball this weekend, and I was like, "Thank you, Costco."
Okay. Well, also for snack duty at our little league, where Gowin is now working the snack booth, I buy the snack bucks and I give each kid 3 snack bucks. I'm like, here. Like saves me all the work.
I was gonna say they pocket it and they order something on Ralph's.
Right, and fine. No, it's like a little, like, it's a Disney money, but it's like Little League money. You know what I mean?
Oh, nice.
So so that's what but club is great because no snacks. People are like, no frills, done. We're just competitive. We're just gonna kick your ass, you know.
I had to slice apples yesterday for a Girl Scout meeting. My wife made me slice apples, and it took us 20 minutes to figure out how to not let the apples brown in the 1 hour that.
There's lemon, right?
What is it?
Lemon. Yeah.
Lemon juice. So you put it's one tablespoon of, and that's a great parenting hack for everybody out there. And this is, I think, what everyone's going to remember from this podcast. And we'll call this podcast the How Not to Brown Your Apples podcast. And it's 1 tablespoon of lemon per cup of water. And then you let them soak for 3 to 5 minutes, and then they don't brown.
Wow.
I always wondered, because you ever go to a store and you're like, there's apple, or when you go to McDonald's, you're like, there's apple slices, and you're like, how are these not brown? Because I literally slice an apple, and in the time it takes me to put it on the table, I'm like, they turn brown, dude.
Yeah, no, I think McDonald's embalms them the way we do about
They use formaldehyde, which I understand is very healthy for a child, because what it does is it kind of purifies their innards.
Oh,
listen.
I think that's
Have you heard Ellis's bit about the vaccine? He's like, you know what you got to do? For the people that don't want it, it's fine. Just put it in a chicken nugget. Okay. And then when they order them, they get it. And then when they find out that they got it, he's like, then they're not going to get it again. He's like, but boom, the McRib is back. So they get the second dose of the McRib. And he's like, and then when they complain that we didn't tell them what was in the food, we say, we've never told you what was in the food.
That's true.
I basically just stole. It's not my bit. It is Mark Ellis. Go check him out. He's one of the best working.
The booster is the Shamrock Shack.
Yeah.
The Shamrock Shake.
Totally. Yeah. Oh my God, which is happening?
Oh, I was going to say the lava hot apple pie that like scalded the inside of my mouth every time I ate one.
Yeah.
Lips like blistered. Yeah. But anyway, yeah.
This is a terrible. I can't tell the story. I could go to jail still. I don't think it's. But yeah, I worked in McDonald's for a year. Anyway.
Correct.
But Jamie, wait. I will say the greatest Coca-Cola you can get in the world. And my Schmodown people have taught me why this is, but I love a fountain Coke from McDonald's.
And
do you know why? No, we talked about this. It's because I think they get to keep, like, they have a deal with Coke that they can use a higher percentage of the syrup than normal.
Interesting.
And they keep them in steel drums instead of the plastic bags.
That is true. It is the steel. It's they're pressurized. I also believe they allowed them to use Coca-Cola from 1909, where it still had cocaine in it. I think that's still the way it did. Right?
I love it.
Coca-Cola first came out, it had Coke in it, like legit Coke. It had drug in it.
Listen.
It's funny because now so I fought tooth and nail. My kids are never eating it. Like we don't eat fast food that much, but I have given in. And so I was back east with my in-laws, and they were like, "We're going to McDonald's," and I was like, I tried to put up a fight, but they were like, "Not happening." And so my kids went to McDonald's for the first times, and their head, they exploded. And now we'll get McDonald's, although we get In-N-Out more. Like we got an In-N-Out yesterday, but
it's delicious.
Yeah, it's great. We don't. I don't do McDonald's much, but if I'm not eating,
I'll get
McDonald's because it's. I remember the last time I went, and I went through the drive-through in North Hollywood, and you finish and you buy 2 meals for 2 kids with a ton of stuff, and then you get up there and the guy's like $3.80, and you're like, no, I have that order, and he goes, no, it's $3.80, and you're like,
it's wild.
How is that possible?
Yeah. It's a well, this is the thing is like I just read this article recently about how like when people like shame other parents for eating at McDonald's, you're not taking into account like other people's budgets, what's available where they live, what they're like. It's just there was like one person was saying how like the woman, she was like a dietitian that consulted people like about how to eat healthier, how to, keep your kids healthier. And the woman works at McDonald's. So like, what's easier to feed your kids when you're coming home at 6 p.m.? Like, of course, just bring them McDonald's. But so what they did is they just figured out what at McDonald's was the best thing, because to say like people shouldn't eat McDonald's is like, well, that's what they can afford.
Yeah.
That's what's available in that area. It's called
I'm a
food
big fan
deserts.
of we eat healthy, but we also eat horribly. My kids, they eat Cocoa Puffs in the morning. My wife's like, don't get, I go, I like Cocoa Puffs. I get them. So I like Cocoa Puffs. But I also, like this morning, I made pancakes. I'll make an egg, bacon and cheese sandwich a lot. Or like some mornings, I like just a bowl of Cocoa Puffs. We make oatmeal a lot. We eat actually pretty healthy.
We don't.
My kids, I mean, they definitely snack. I mean, so it'll be a healthy meal. And then in the middle of the day, you're like, they get the Nutella with the little pretzels or whatever.
Pretzel thing, yeah.
Yeah, and then later they go, can I have dessert? And I go, yeah, I don't know if you know that. That's dessert. Just so we're all on the same. So they end up having.
Bless you, Claire.
Dave Schrader's I was on. I did Dave Schrader's podcast, which is fantastic, by the way. Jason, you've been on it as well.
I have, yes.
So good, so much fun because I did Haunted Live and Jason's from the paranormal world as well. And so he has this movie review thing where he makes you watch like a horrible movie. Not horrible, like actually, yes, horrible. And so he made me watch a Llamageddon. Awesome. And it was llamas from outer space with laser beam eyes that come. It was graphically one of arguably the worst films I've ever seen. It was only like 72 minutes where you're like, wow, they couldn't even make a feat. But so I kind of took a different tact on it and was like, these guys were so good. They don't need 90 minutes to tell the story. They knocked it out at 72. And obviously what they did, considering they had absolutely no script and no actors, and it was super. But the movie's super like crazy, stupid, funny. There's a llama. They obviously like, we don't have any, they wrote the movie around the llamas or something. It was crazy. And then, so
they just had a llama surplus.
Beams would hit it, and then it was just like somebody just shot blood at the guy where the other dude's body was. It's so crazy. Peekaboo ice cream is delicious.
It seems like Dave Schrader maybe just had some Coca-Cola from 1909. What is Peekaboo ice cream?
I might add some to myself.
Yeah. I watched a movie once. My buddy and I that do the show every Friday. We were doing this for a while, watching like B movies. We watched Snakes on a Train. Not on a plane, honey. No, Snakes on a Train. It was truly one of the funniest things I've ever seen. It's a real thing.
I'm in. Claire, have you done any crazy horror films that are like, you like look back and you go, wow. I mean, I have a couple that I laugh at that are ridiculous.
Well, one of the funniest, honestly, this is like one of my best movie making experiences, but the title, kind of crazy. It's called Big Ass Spider. And we're actually doing a sequel. And I remember when I took the job, because I worked with the director. This was my second time working with him. I've worked with him 3 times. And I took the job, and my agent was like, it doesn't get any worse than this. And I was like, well, it's going to, because I'm doing this movie, you know? And it is kind of like, I mean, it's about a big ass spider, like takes over Los Angeles and whatever, but it's really funny. It's Greg Grunberg, who's in Star Wars and Star Trek and whatnot, and Lombardo, who's a great comedian, and myself. Anyway, yes, Jamie, that would be my one that I'm like, yeah, that was kind of like a crazy choice. It turned out, but yes, good.
I have a couple. I'm in a movie called D-War. It's short for Dragon Wars. And we got on top of the U.S. Bank building. Do you know the one?
Nice. Yeah.
Downtown? It's the tallest building this side of like the Mississippi or something.
Yeah.
On the helicopter pad. I'm a helicopter pilot, and I get eaten by a dragon. Like a classic. This is so great.
I love it.
The director is Chinese. He doesn't speak one word of English. And so I'm there all day. They drag me up to the top of the helicopter pad on the U.S. Bank building. It had rained the day before, so you could see the ocean. You could see everywhere. And I was like, oh my God, I'm taking photos. This is crazy. They put me in this helicopter. I'm looking out at Los Angeles, and the camera is like right there. And the director's like, he doesn't speak a word of English. And he's like, the dragon... And I go, yeah. Oh, yeah. They roll camera, everybody starts moving, and I'm like, I have the helicopter stick in my hand. I'm like, Oh. And that's it. And I like did like 5 or 6 takes, and the guy never spoke a word of English to me. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And some other dude's like, he's saying you get eaten by a dragon, and just scream. You're going down, screaming. And that was it. And so if you ever see it, it's called D-War, and I'm in it, and the helicopter's there, and I'm like, and they eats the helicopter and walking, and the dragon is curled around. It's that big. It's curled around the U.S. Bank building.
Okay, please share that on the Parent Lounge Twitter, because I know I'm going to be looking for that, and I know other people would like to look for that.
Yeah.
So please.
It's
Post that.
I'm in there's another one called Dead and Deader that stars none other than Dean Cain. And it's a zombie film, and it was before The Walking Dead. I don't want to say we started the trend of zombie films, what we did. And so nobody, I remember Dawn of the Dead and that kind of stuff, but years and years ago. But this was Dead and Deader, and it was a zombie film, and there was no, there was no Walking Dead. So we weren't like pros on zombies. And they had a zombie coach. And so you got to set, and then they wrangled us. And I was a soldier who got eaten and then became a zombie. And there was a zombie coach who talked us through it. And he was teaching us how to be zombies. He was like, and he would act it out. You had to drag your back foot as you had to have a dead look.
Yeah.
I have the photos. I wish I'm going to
seen that picture. Yeah.
Yeah, you've seen him, right?
I've seen that picture, yeah.
It looks like my throat's gashed open or something. I was in prosthetics.
This is Dean Cain's in that?
Dean Cain is the lead. I don't know if I've ever seen it.
A ball out from the pitcher's mound to home plate with Dean Cain at I think it was an Orioles game many years ago, and he's now the star of the Republican National Convention.
Listen, I don't know him personally. He was super nice. He's super
very nice.
He was very nice.
I don't do politics. I don't
do politics either.
I do.
Well, I mean, I do them, but I don't.
So I shot another film with this guy Putin, this Russian cat. I don't do politics at all. He was cool to me. He put me in charge of the whole oil industry of Russia. I made $1 billion. It wasn't a big deal. Kind of close, but I can mega you.
The world's on fire.
At the time where I did that, it was, I didn't talk about politics with him. That's all I meant.
I never talk about it on set anyway. Until somebody else, like I did. I don't want to say who, but I worked with somebody recently, and he started talking, and I was like, "Oh, thank God!" And we oh my God. But yeah. I want to do. Have you ever seen on YouTube? They have the clips of Will Ferrell breaks down his iconic films, or Al Pacino breaks down his. Have you never seen it?
No.
It's a GQ series, and it's great because Pacino will, like, whoever it is, everybody's done them. Huge stars. And so then they'll show a clip of the movie, and the guy will tell a bit of the story of the movie. And I want to do it. And I want to do all my one line on Heard Rock from the Sun. Well, that shoot was off the charts. I don't even know what to say about it. I mean, Lithgow and we just and tell crazy stories of how I got the part and where my character goes, but only have it be the one line.
The one line. That's it. That's every movie I've ever been in, Kaler. It's just I was always an under 5. I was just always.
I did Third Rock from the Sun, and John Lithgow. It was like one of my very first jobs. I literally had one line, and I said, "Package for Mr. Scoochie." My only line. So I had to enter, and I was, I was terrified. I'm standing there, and
there's Churchill himself.
And so he is standing next to me in the dark by the door to enter because he has to enter the scene. So we're rehearsing all week together, and the whole week I'm standing next to John Lithgow for a time. And he was like literally the nicest person you've ever met. He said, so we go to shoot night, and we're standing there shoot night, and I'm terrified. It's like one of my first jobs I've ever done. I'm about to walk out in front of a live studio audience and just say this one line, which I'm literally saying to myself, package for Mrs. Scoochie, package for Mrs. Scoochie, package for Mrs. Scoochie, package Package for Mr. Scoochie, package for Mr. Scoochie, package for like you're saying it over and over because you're so terrified. You only have one line. You're like, if I don't say this, there's 200 people who are going to go, what the fuck is wrong with that cat? And so I'm sitting there and they yell action and the other scene's starting and Lithgow leans over. He goes, you only have one line, Mr. Kaler, so make it good. And then he did his entrance. I was like, ah, crazy. And then for like years, I got like Christmas cards from the whole cast. Like he had a run through in his dressing room before the show. And they were like, hey, you want to do the run through? And I go, oh God, no, I wouldn't go into Lithgow's. And he was like, oh, please, Jamie, come in. And he was like the most gracious guy. And his dressing room was like a museum of comedy. He had Charlie Chaplin's cane framed on the wall in his dressing room. I'm like, fucking John Lithgow. That was crazy. He had all this memorabilia. You were like, God damn it. Like
he had Buster Keaton's train from the General in the dressing room.
And I was like, still to this day, every time I see him, I'm like, you know, when you're like, Claire, you know, when you work with people, like some people are they're about the craft and about the art of it all. And it's so glorious when you're in the middle of it and you're like, we're creating stuff. And even though you're obviously easily replaceable, like anybody is, and you're like, but you feel like we're putting on a show. And then there's other shows you work on where you're like, just keep your mouth shut. Face the corner.
Can I tell you, I actually cannot wait for the reckoning in Hollywood. And I've said this repeatedly. I'm going to say it again. Talk about politics. I cannot wait for the reckoning in Hollywood where we finally start calling out the horrible women in this industry. Because I got to tell you, every woman I've ever been on a set with is a proper nightmare. And people like Bradley Cooper and Gerard, but were the nicest, like just constantly include. And like Rhoda Mitchell, I'm going to say it, Rhoda Mitchell was one of the nasty. She tried to publicly shame me. I have one line. I am not your competition. You are number one on the call sheet. What are you doing shitting on me? So I cannot wait. Someday it's going to be called Us Too. And it's just going to be a bunch of bitches telling on each other because that needs to happen.
You know what?
You know what I'm saying?
The women who I've worked with who are really respected for their craft and really like up there and acknowledgeable, they're A+.
Yes.
It's the women who feel like they have to claw their way up, who are not feeling secure in either their craft or their position in the business, that can kind of be difficult, you know?
Oh.
And I definitely have had that. I mean, being a blonde, and Kate, you know, you'll relate to this. I've been sent off set several times back to hair and makeup for I'm not saying any particular show or project, but sent back because I'm number 2 or number 3 on the call sheet. And I don't want to interfere with number 1 on the call sheet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I get it. Hopefully people, as they age, and I feel like women definitely have it much harder than men. You know, as you age, I think women I've gotten apology texts from people.
I can't, Rhoda, I'm waiting.
Well, whenever you walk into an audition, all the men check out all the women and all the women check out all the women. Like it's so violently competitive. So yeah, I've worked with women who have been,
we eat our own. I don't know why.
I always feel it's way harder. It's just way harder for a woman. I don't want to be, it's not misogynistic, but I think that they have it way harder. I mean, this business is just brutal. And if you look back at the studio system, it was gruesome with like Marilyn. Do you see that Marilyn Monroe documentary? It was fantastic.
I haven't seen it yet. I want to see it.
Pretty great.
Is that when
she was pretty phenomenal for a woman in that era. Pretty crazy.
Is that the one where they show her coming up with the album College Dropout? No, it's Kanye documentary joke. Never mind. That's the only documentary anybody's watching right now. Have you seen this Kanye documentary?
No.
No.
Oh,
I'm too busy watching Pam and Tommy.
Well,
Kate,
I've heard.
It's about a boat in the Caribbean with no internet. So tell me.
It's called Genius. It's called Genius. I think it's on Netflix, but it is. I gotta tell you, like, you know, it's gonna end sadly. Like, you just know that he's gonna get. Ugh. But he is such a hard worker, and he really is. His brain, of course, he has to have some sort of mental illness because his brain is unlocked in a way. His brain is his brain is unlocked in a way that the rest of us could only achieve by drugs. I think. I mean, he's really something special brain wise. Like, yeah.
Talking about Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of something special, I do have the D Wars trailer ready. I'm going to put it up.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Jason, I can't even tell you who's in it. Jason Beggy.
Can you see it?
Oh yeah.
You are official. This is it.
That's it. 2007. I can read Korean.
You blow it up. Blow it up to the screen. The corner.
Also, Jamie, this is Korean.
He's Korean. Yes. My mistake. He's. there I go. He's Korean.
I mean, honestly, I would watch it.
Me too.
It's actually very watchable.
Your second chance to protect the angel.
That's right. Robert Forster's in it. This is the bank building.
You're asking me to believe in some monster from legend.
That's me in the helicopter. I feel bad for the people listening to this on iTunes, by the way. Just so you're aware, on iTunes, we're watching a clip from a movie right now. Next week, come watch us live on Facebook or YouTube at the Parents Lounge.
I think we got the point.
You really got tossed in that helicopter, bruh.
Did you and the dragon stay in touch after?
Yeah. What was?
Actually, the dragon sometimes comes over and babysits the kids. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Do you have any? I heard the dragon's like right on the cusp of getting canceled. No, you can't speak to that at all.
No.
Hey, not to brag, but that's not the first time a giant lizard ate me in a helicopter.
Really?
Yeah.
He's also like, when I was in the Navy.
No, I was in Godzilla, and my buddy,
the original,
the director Peter Winther. No, the one with Matthew Broderick.
I was making an old joke, but thank you for rolling.
And so they did some reshoots, and he brought me in, and I was a helicopter pilot, and I got eaten by Godzilla, and it was great. So I went to the premiere I brought my girlfriend at the time, and it was like my first film I think I was in. And we go to the movie, and I'm sitting with my girlfriend the whole time, and we're watching the movie Godzilla, Matthew Broderick, big movie. And every time a helicopter comes in and Godzilla's like, oh, my girlfriend's like, here you go, here we go. Oh, okay, son, not that one. You know, the 2 hours start to go by, every helicopter, it's you! It's okay, it's not you. And all of a sudden, Godzilla starts to die. Like they've shot Godzilla. It's 2 hours into the movie. Godzilla's like falling to the earth. And my girlfriend leans over. She goes, I think they cut you out. I was like, you think? I think they did too. And then I called my buddy who I went to college with, who was the guy who brought me in for the job. And I go, dude, they cut me out of Godzilla. He goes, oh, shit, I forgot to tell you. Yeah,
no,
they cut you out. You're out. I go, well, you probably should have told me before I went to the premiere and brought a date.
And did the step and repeat.
Welcome to show business, people. Business of all that.
Okay, also,
I still get residual checks for it.
Boom. Kaler is a really funny play on Khaleesi. I love it. By the way, Jason, I've been meaning to ask you this. Is that Ninja Turtle, life-size Ninja Turtle, always behind you?
Mm-mm.
No, sometimes he moves.
Oh my God, he's really incredible. Did you 3D print him?
No, it's a replica costume made from the mold of the original from the 1990 movie.
Wow.
Does anyone else realize it's almost 9 o'clock?
Yes, I have to. I can hear pacing in the hallway.
I just came in late. I'm so sorry to keep this going, but all of a sudden we talk about this all the time. I love having guests on, but I love the group. I love this group of the four of us.
It's kind of like we touched kind of like the tip of the iceberg. Like, I don't want to talk about tips again or like,
just the tip.
Whatever.
I feel like we touched the shaft of the iceberg, I would say.
Right.
We're the lint on the, and
on the
we
infected follicle.
We need another episode stat.
Yeah.
Backpacking Dad just got here, guys. Backpacking Dad's like, keep it going. Backpacking Dad, listen, let me just tell you something. Here's what you missed. Jamie Kaler almost
Mulligan
died.
Mulligan. Show wrap up. Hit it.
Okay. I'll try to do it like an auctioneer. And the first thing that we talked about today was that Claire was on a cruise. Claire was on a cruise. That's right. The father of her children had all four of the kids. We didn't know that was a thing that you could do, that you could just go on a cruise, but you went for work. And then we found out that Jason's balls did not, in fact, get cut to pieces. They're healing just fine, but his penis did disappear when he got an infected vasectomy incision. Don't forget that also Jamie Kaler showed up to the show. He had showed up a little bit earlier than when he showed up because I did an impression of him for a couple of minutes where I just bagged on his wife the way that he does. Also,
I'm going to have to go back and watch it, aren't I? God damn it, Mulligan.
No, you don't have to. Also, let's not forget that he's got lint dick. That's right. Lint dick is when a piece of lint.
Not anymore. No, I took a shower and it washed it away.
Lint dick is when you get a piece of lint out of your belly button and it falls on your dick and you think that you're actually dying. Cut to Jason Gowin's almost died 7 times and never thought he was dying. I had to convince him tonight that he actually was in fact as close to death when he was septic. Don't forget that Claire's, if you need any groceries, just ask Clare Kramer's kids because they will order 35 of anything for you.
And also Postmates.
And that, good friend, Backpacking Dad, is where we land right now.
So now we know Backpacking Dad better be here next week, 7 p.m. sharp for the beginning of the show.
That's right. Also, I did forget to include that. Rhoda Mitchell is our boop. I didn't say it this time, Jason.
No.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I think we went through a good hunk of my resume tonight. We covered a good hunk of Claire and I resume. Amazing. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Backpacking Dad. Backpacking Dad.
Boy.
We might have to have Backpacking Dad on at one point because I got to tell you the name Backpacking Dad, that was pretty good.
He's amazing. He was
now, let
one
me
of
ask
the
you, is he backpacking? Like, is he taking his kids like hiking, or is he backpacking Dad because he went out for a pack of smokes and didn't come back? That's the question.
Okay, the moniker started when he had his child in a backpack and was hiking with her. I believe it was her. Now, he has 2 kids, and now his oldest is like 15. So
wait, can we? Sorry, Jason. Could you click on his? A comment of his again?
Sure.
I think he. Okay, it's Ralph Macchio, you guys. It's Ralph Macchio. It's Ralph. We got the Karate Kid himself is here.
He's got quite the goatee going, though. I got to tell you,
he's got a full head of hair. We don't have that going on in this house.
All right, so next week our guest will be Backpacking Dad, and we'll go from there. All right, I didn't bring us in, so I'm not taking us out. Who's taking us out?
Mulligan, go ahead, or Claire, do it.
I'll take us out.
Please.
Oh, Claire, take us out.
Hey, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We love commiserating about the parenting issues we all have, but we also love connecting with everyone. Please keep us subscribed on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. And, thanks. And we'll see you guys next week.
I literally thought you were going to say, keep us in your prayers. Also, hey, Claire.
That's what I'm saying.
Actually, yes, for the love of God. I want to be in people's prayers. For the love of God, just in case, pray for me. Why not?
Pray for us. Lint dick.
All right, see you all next week here on the Parents Lounge.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Hey, Claire, drink